What's going on, guys? Back with another video today. We're going to be talking about the reality of quitting your job and why most people never do it or do it correctly. So I think that most people will say like, oh yeah, I want to quit my job, and then like they never do it. So for this video is for those that want to actually quit their job, not crash and burn, and wind back up at their job. So if you're serious about building your exit strategy, subscribe. Is all we're going to be talking about on this channel. I'm building mine through business and real estate. So that's all that we're going to talk about. I think that most people want to leave their job because they hate their work. They don't have passion in it anymore. They want to create something for themselves. They're burnt out on the constant grind. They want the flexibility. That's kind of like one of the main reasons, because I want to build a family, and I want control over my schedule, and I want that flexibility. And I also want to do something that I enjoy and love, right? So I think that most people don't leave their jobs because they have what we call golden handcuffs, right? They have that steady paycheck, they have the health insurance, they have everything, and they're like, I don't really care for this job, but it gets me what I need to provide for my family, or it gets what I need for the moment, right? They have that lifestyle creep, is what they call it, I think. It's like that mortgage, the kids, and the debt, right? So if you have that, I'm gonna say it right up front. Don't let that be an excuse to chase your dreams. Do it for your kids. Do it for your wife. Do it because you have that mortgage. Because you have that debt. Don't wait too long and feel like you've lost your edge. You can start at any time, but don't let those things that you think is going to prevent you from doing it. Don't let that stop you, is what I want to say. So what you need to actually quit your job. So just a touch of a backstory. I was in the Army for 4 years, single guy, no family, but I wanted to build a family, and I wanted to leave so that, the Army, because I personally felt that if you didn't leave in 4 years, you were going to leave in 20. And I had to cut ties. So I had to find a window. That's something that I wanted to talk about. You find your window of when you think is the right time to do it. It's never going to be a perfect time to do it, but you have to figure out, okay, you have to set out in advance. And here's where I'm going with this. You need to start an exit fund. You have to cover at least, I think at the minimum, 6 months. I try to do a year. It's definitely possible, but again, I'm a single guy, so we're going to make it a little bit more realistic for you out there. You got a wife and you got a mortgage, right? You can save 6 months of expenses. It might take you a year, but at least that's your first action step. Because I think that the biggest barrier for people is like, well, when I quit my job, then in 2 weeks, I'm not going to have any money. You might not be wrong, but if you have, 25 grand to say, okay, I'm going to just live on this for the next 6 months. I'm going to go all in on my business. And at least you took the leap, right? At least you took the leap. You can always go find another job. It might take time, but I think for most people, the first barrier of entry is the exit fund. They need that confidence of, okay, I can fall back on this if I have to. I think the second thing is a proven plan. They're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this, or, whatever, right? They just have some kind of random thing that they want to go do, right? And people jump into it without really doing the deep research. And I think, the part 3 to this is the mentor. So you have a plan, you're confident in it, right? Go take it to someone that's already doing it, or better yet, go work with them to understand the business or whatever it is, the industry that you want to get in. We could go 1,000 different directions with this to keep it broad, but I think you got to have somebody that's walked the path and can help you skip those dumb mistakes, right? Like if I were to start over, I would be like, go set up your exit fund. I would say, literally this video is what I'm trying to help people with, right? Go do these things so that you don't wind up, back at your job. I think you got to have a little bit of peace over the situation, right? You got to have that, okay, well, I know this is the right next step for me, just to leave my 9 to 5. It's not going to be easy. When I was leaving the military, I promise you, it was ooh, things get real, and they get real fast. Adulting is as they say, it's hard, right? But don't let that, stop you from okay, I know this is my passion. I know this is what I want to do next. And just have peace. I would encourage you, pray about it too. One of my favorite books is Faith Driven Entrepreneur, and a lot of it, what it talks about is that you're an entrepreneur on fire for Christ, right? And I think that God can give you the wisdom and power to move to the next step. And it may not always feel, butterflies and rainbows or whatever you want to call it. It's not going to be easy, but the confidence to know that, even if I fail this, it's not the end of the world. At least I tried. And I don't necessarily think it's the I tried mentality. It's would you rather have the regret of never doing it, never trying, or I tried, made it the best, and then I didn't work, so I found a way that it didn't work. Let me go, rinse and repeat. You go back and you get another side hustle, you get a part-time job, you figure something out. Like, the people that don't quit are the people that win. I think that's a big thing, which is like a little bit of my closing thought here is, at some point you do have to take the risk. It shouldn't be just a blind leap. It should be a transfer of power. It should be like, okay, I'm going to focus on this. I do think people wait too long and they talk themselves out of it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you need to be prepared. I would encourage you to really just dig deep, figure out, okay, let's say, so today is July, 17th. If I'm going to, let's say like next year, I would encourage you next 4th of July to be like, okay, by the next 4th of July, I'm going to have X saved so that I can start X business or X venture or whatnot. Like, you've got to set up something for yourself to succeed. And that's the first step of taking action. So if you're building your own exit plan, hit subscribe. I'm showing people how to bulletproof case their foundation through business and real estate, so that you can do the same and you can leave your 9 to 5. I want people to have the courage and don't worry about, what the world's going to think. Because at the end of the day, they're just going to try to drag you down. They're going to try to stop you. So go full force into your goals, set a plan, take action, and all the rest of it will come into place. Thanks for joining. We'll see you in the next episode.